Okay. Hello and welcome to the stream. I'm trying to see if this works because Monster Hunter World has had a couple problems with streaming in the past. There were two dead streams where I just kind of went to play, decided I'll try and stream to see if everything worked, and I'm in the training area because I want to give you the recreation of the two quests that I did off stream for the story. So yeah, I'm very sorry if you wanted to see me take on Tigrex and Narga, but here's the reenactment. There's your reenactment. And missing with everything except for, like, the first hit of the true charge. And honestly, I haven't used the training area that much, or at all. So, let me just see how much damage I normally do in a combo. Okay. I'm going to assume that I didn't get a crit for any of that. Yeah, about 40 affinity. Also, bit of new stuff. I have a controller. That's different than my previous one. My previous one was a small SNES-style controller that could be used with my computer to work like an Xbox controller. Return to HQ. So, out of everything,
we're halfway there.
The dead streams were caused because apparently, out of me playing World now and me, well, actually, the before and after is essentially before trying to get World to work now, and before the cold stream that I tried to do but ended up not being a cold stream. So before that point, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm trying to explain while also trying to figure out what to do before I take on Brack. So, before the failed Culve stream, I call it failed because I didn't actually fight Culve all that much. There was one solo attempt and one attempt where I brought in a friend. But, before that failed Culve stream, everything worked perfectly fine, nothing was wrong, I had no drop frames, and very few skipped frames. During and after that Culve stream, basically, on the day I didn't stream, there was some weird shift, and then my computer prioritized using every single core to run Monster Hunter World and throw the stream to the wayside. So I fixed that by telling it use only half the cores on World and use every core on the stream.
That's alright, Pickle.
And hopefully this will result in a stream that is watchable and no drop. In frame, no skip. My main hope is to have this work, and now I'm tweaking audio because I saw that it was maybe a bit loud, but that could just be me. So, to prove what I did, there's Tigrex armor. There's Narga armor. I also took on an Odogaron to change up my armor, so now I am wearing a mix set, which has the Odogaron, Joyous, and Astral. Not Joyous, the Oolong. Mostly so that then I can get the Protective Polish of Odogaron, get the crit boost to the chest for Astral, and then I just needed the 3 extra crit from the Oolong hat. So let me just show. Yeah. And right now I only have 2 focus because I was only able to upgrade my focus charm once. I have no ability to upgrade it again, but then again I think the 3rd level is from Iceborne. So I may just need to do a tiny bit more. Better I just haven't fought the monster I needed to. I did in Base World skip Black Diablos. But yeah, right now I am roughly in a position where if I get a crit, it should do a decent amount of damage. I now have speed sharpening to help. I have the 2 quick sheaths from the Odo stuff, which I kind of feel like I would have liked the 3, but I'm not sure how much it'll change. Non-elemental boost from one of my 2 gems that I have. I'm just saying that because apparently I was lucky enough to get another one. I really don't care, you only need one. And I just have affinity sliding on there, or as a byproduct of some decoration stuff, I believe. Yeah. I have a lot of jewels for expert or crit eye, and it doesn't really help. So I try to get a jewel to take the place of slider and physique. I don't mind having the extra constitution. Honestly, if I were to get like a hard physique jewel, then that would be perfect, as that would give me 3 physique, or 3 constitution, and that reduces fixed stamina depletion, which I believe affects how much stamina it takes to dodge, and maybe to block. I can't remember if there was a separate thing. But for right now, to not really worry too much about stuff, I'm going to do a couple of optionals. And by a couple, I mean the one here, and then the about 5 here. Because I do need to get the Bobo on my side before I continue, as I feel that having the trading open would be nice. But also I want to try and get some more materials. Mostly the better tools. And I still need to go back and get temporal, rocksteady, and what else was there? Evasion. I need to get evasion as well. So I think I'll start off with Bugger Off Bugs, which shows slay all targets. It doesn't give me a certain number, but I assume that I have to defeat both. Hence the not giving me a number, since they can't show both numbers. At least not without it being confusing. And the reason I'm not going immediately into the story, even though I have full Volcana tracks and am only 1 quest away from fighting the first Volcana fight, is because I need to break in the new controller. That is partially an excuse to not do anything too big, just in case the stream actually does live. So then I could properly name it. But also, I'm not used to using this controller when playing World. So my brain might go, oh wait, I have to do it this way. Well. I dislike any quest that is do a bunch of small monster calling. It's mostly because oftentimes if it's something like Vespoids or in older games Banabra, it's irritating because they fly around and really show how irritating it is to hit something that you can't hit most of the time. So, halfway done with Vespoids. I mean, if I said that at an 8th Vespoid, then it would still make sense. As that would be half rounding up, well, 7 is half rounding down. Oh, I forgot to grab stones. Okay, that was a 2 and 1. There we go. That's all that done. Now I just need to go after the Hormitor. Which I only need to take out 5 more than what I did for Vespoid. So this quest shouldn't take too long. And it's a good way to make sure that nothing's being dropped. Like, I have the stat window open telling me exactly how many frames I've dropped and how many frames I have due to rendering and encoding lag. So, I'm making sure that this is fine. And I don't have the stream playing on my second monitor because I'm worried that could also be part of the problem. Like, playing back the stream as it's happening can give me some false information while also drawing unnecessary amounts of resources is from my ability to stream. Hopefully that makes sense, so if anything's wrong, please tell me. And if I don't really react to a problem as fast, then it's because I don't have the stream up and I can't fix it from what I see. So please, if you see something wrong, tell me and I will fix it as soon as I am able. Since I really don't want another Monster Hunter World stream to end up getting tossed. Besides, I feel bad for having 2 streams that nobody will ever be able to see, all because I just wasn't able to stream, essentially. Okay, where are any other I almost said Hermitars. Wrong monster. They'd have a similar quest. But they are not in this game. I would love to have fought the Daimyo. You know, regular Daimyo and Plum Daimyo. As well as Shogun. Since I think they would be fun fights in World. Or at least with World changes to weapons. So, here's hoping that they maybe come back and rise, since I could see Shogun making it back on name alone. As well, a couple of players may absolutely hate him. So, Capcom maybe put him in just to spite people who hate the monster. I know there were a few people who were like that with Plesioth, since apparently universal hate of Plesioth is still a thing. And I really don't mind Plesioth just because I fought him in 3 before anything else. So the first game Plesioth is ever in, that was my first experience with him. And out of everything, I think that just bolstered my love of him as a monster, because it made me feel like, yeah, no, I have an even fight. I can go in after him. Granted, I did hate him for a while before going back to play 3, since when I first played 3, I was entirely new to the series, and as such, I knew nothing. So, why not? I go back and see how far I've grown. And I'll say, I have definitely got more skill and have gotten better since that long time ago version of myself. Really, it's just, I love going back and playing old games that I haven't played in ages, because I remember playing to a point, then just stopping because either I was stuck and couldn't do anything, or I just got bored of the game because I didn't know what else to do. And with 3, it was a case of I was stuck because I couldn't beat Crimson, and I was also stuck because I didn't know how to handle Devil Joe. Whereas with another game that I was able to go back and play because my brother got me a copy of it for my birthday, I want to say. It might have been for holiday, but hold on a moment. Before I go any further into this, my dog wants to come in. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, I was talking about going back to play old games because you want to see how far you've come since then. I mean, the other reason would be because you just like the game, and as such, why not go back and play it? Not to see how far you've come since then, but rather to see if it still holds up in your mind. I know there would be a few people who go back because of nostalgic reasons, and as such, they get lost in the moment of, oh, yeah, I remember how good that was. Then they go back, play the game, and end up finding it worse. Or just as good. All based on whether or not their memory holds out, or whether the nostalgia was there because you enjoyed beating it the first time and learning, or because in playing you found some enjoyment other than just beating the game. Or if you're like me and got stuck, it's more nostalgia for time in your past that you can't get back. So, out of everything, it's always a good idea to go back and play an old game that you remember from your childhood. Just because it can be just as good or better than you remember it. Like with my case with 3 and a game called Yu-Gi-Oh! The Falsebound Kingdom. Actually, not Falsebound Kingdom, it was Duelist of the Roses. I played a bunch of Falsebound Kingdom and haven't gone back to play it again. But for Duelist of the Roses, I was stuck at a point in the game because I just was terrible. Well, I didn't understand much about how the game worked, and I actually was on the verge of losing when I last played it before, trading it in at a GameStop, getting another game, and then regretting ever giving up the game in the first place. A couple of years later, since in replaying Falsebound Kingdom, or not Falsebound Kingdom, Duelist of the Roses. In replaying Duelist of the Roses, I found that I was a lot better now than I was back then.
Ah, well done!
And I actually really enjoyed going through the game.
Let's do this.
More recently. And I think that's because I had a better understanding of how the game worked. I actually read the instructions. And I learned how the fusion system worked, kind of.
Stay tough.
Whereas with Monster Hunter 3, in going back and actually understanding how armor worked, as well as a bit about how sharpness affected your damage, I was surprised that my memory held out of when I originally played it. And I also had the momentary realization of, how did I get to high rank while being that much of an idiot? Because I didn't upgrade my armor, I didn't upgrade my weapon, and except for maybe getting it to the Chain Slaughter, since my first time playing 3, I predominantly used Longsword. But out of everything, the thing that surprised me was I had no real memory of the game being aggravating. I remembered it being fun and challenging. And I could see where I get the whole, it was fun because I won a good number of the quests without real issue. Whereas I could see its challenge because I was an idiot and used the Locklack and Yakumo set as a mixed set, which had no skills because it was the starter stuff. And all in all, I was a huge, huge idiot and didn't understand anything. And so, in going back and playing, I realized, 1, how bad I was, and 2, how oddly good I was, because I was able to get as far as I was. Or, I was able to get into high rank through pretty much just skill. And I'm not trying to brag, it's just a case of I'm surprised that I didn't encounter a wall sooner. But then again, toss a Devil Joe in the way of somebody who doesn't understand the game at all, and I'm pretty sure you get a giant wall. Okay, so anyway, onwards with the quest. And I do just want to see. Everything still seems to be here, so I wonder, is it just that now all the events are continuously here? They're just constantly here. They will never disappear. Or at least they won't disappear at this time because there's a special thing going on. Because if they don't go away, then I'm completely fine with this. And honestly, it makes me happy since it just reminds me about how the old games worked. Okay, so I really don't want to fight Tempered Beatotus right now. You know what? I really don't know. I really do not know. Because I want to continue with the story. But I also feel like I need maybe the tiniest bit of something else to do. But I really don't want to do a bunch of these quests. I'll just get it done and over with. Okay. Get a hot drink to start out because unless it sends me just right next to the monster, I'll be able to gather along the way. Change the Ghillie Mantle over to the Ice Proof. Still using Great Jagras. I would love to have a change of weapon, but there's not a lot that outdoes Great Jagras. And I think that's mostly because the Great Jagras weapon is oddly damaging. Something about Helpo. Teamwork is key. Preparation. Fight with Bobo. Well. Already, part of me is not used to controller mostly because of where stuff is. I assume they want me to follow that Popo instead of the ones I was right next to. I sort of don't get this quest, and I sort of do. there's the first stone bill. And there we go. Now my items are properly sorted. Honestly, I'll just follow the boa, since I can't remember for the life of me how this quest normally goes, or how it's meant to go. Come on. Get a move on. Well. Okay then. Big fish is here. And I am phasing through reality. So, just another normal day. Okay, Iceborne It on. Now, normally I don't see a point in having drugs, but much more recently, I understand that it is very helpful to not have attacks exhausted. Okay. That way. Wall. And we're good. Are broken. On to the next. Thankfully, I'm getting some stuns. Oh, that was delayed. That was delayed. Thought. More materials. Oh, it's already leaving. Let me just quickly adjust audio on my end. Not going to adjust the audio for the stream since that seems to be perfect where it is. I just need to change my own personal audio. Oh. Nope. I want to hit its face. So I get the extra damage. Wow, I'm kind of surprised I wasn't able to go into a clutch wall. I'm not used to the full animation of picking up the greatsword. I forgot to roll to just ignore that animation. That would explain the reason to pick up the greatsword. Now, if only I had Tenderloin and could learn to not miss with the charge. latch to wherever I go, retenderize what I can, and go for as much damage as possible. Okay, just hunt the Beatonus. I was slightly worried that it would capture. Down here, even though it'll take slightly longer, I'll just switch out items to my capture set. Normally I have my capture set as my default loadout. But recently I've been having an issue keeping that up. I think it's mostly caused by having to fix the item bar every time. Oh, it's so great to stream Monster Hunter World. I honestly missed it since my last few streams have just been Terraria streams, and I was starting to get really sad about the inability to stream Iceborne. Since I felt I had started something, so I needed to at least finish it or do better. Besides, what could I stream to replace this? If it's something on par with how demanding it is on CPU, then I probably wouldn't have been able to stream it. And if it was anything particularly too light or uninteresting, nobody would watch it. And one of my thoughts was to play The Witcher 3 instead. Just as a way of making it up, and I had never played The Witcher 3. I am completely blind to it. But since I know that that can also be a bit of a CPU hog, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do that, and then it just came down to, well, what can I? Stream in place of World. But I mean, if this stream works, then I should be good. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to be very sad. So, in working out what exactly I should stream in addition to World and Terraria, because I want to add like a third game maybe, or at least have something lined up. Since with Terraria I'm growing disenchanted with how that's going, and for right now I'm thinking of continuing streaming Terraria. It's just a case of how do I make it more enjoyable to myself as well as viewers. So that thought led me to rewatching some Happy Days videos, and for Terraria streams I will try and add some story elements to the character, rather than just having it be some guy going through Terraria with maybe a slight challenge. Fallen, just please let Go away, Palico. I need to talk to the other Palico. Okay. That's all good. Have to talk to the housekeeper. Another quest. I don't even care to do the housekeeping quests, since generally I don't really do much in the player home. I mean, at one point I would like to get it taken care
I'm
of,
ready.
since
Let's go.
why not? But honestly, I don't really see much of a point in doing any of the housekeeping quests besides, oh yeah, I can fight that monster. Let's see. Yeah. Stone stuff. Capture a T-Rex. Another Beatotus that's tempered. A quest where I just pick on the Boa Boa. I don't really use the cleanse booster, and that Rathian quest is probably for the double down decoration for poison resistance.
Stay tough.
Let's see if I can make any armor for my cat. I could make them Tigrex armor, but it is only better in a couple of Elementad ways. Let's see. I keep my cat around mostly as a ranged attacker, so I don't really see the bonus in giving them the Tigrex hammer. I could give them the Nargacuga. Sure, I can. Since I don't really want them melee attacking, but at the same time, I don't really want them to only be ranged attacking. Just in case I have them set up on, let's really just Molotov Cocktail and Shield Spire. Okay, let's get Palico equipment. So I have the Tail Reader signal now. Okay, Vigor Wasperies at 15, so let's switch over to Flashfly Cage. Since I want my cat to have all of those maxed out, or at least at 15, so that then I have options. And you know what? To progress the story a tiny bit, I will just fight Brack, since then I unlock the armor, the weapon, and I then don't have to get it done on the next stream for World. I won't fight Velkhana this stream, since I mostly just want to get some light stuff done for this. I basically don't want to go all in for this and have it be like the other or two streams where they just will never be seen. I mean, even for the stream I Like Gold, you don't get to see the full thing. And I feel bad because I wasn't particularly entertaining after stopping the stream. I had my mind too preoccupied with, does this sound good for a recording? Like, personally for streaming, I feel a lot better
If
than
Brachydios is known
just
for anything, it's slime. That and a pair of
going
guns that'll even make the
for-
chef jealous.
Sorry, I'm trying to organize my thoughts. It's a bit difficult since playing a game and I'm not overly great at multitasking. So basically, I want to try and make sure that this stream, in and of itself, isn't going the way of the other streams. I am much better at streaming than I am at recording a video, and I feel I'm more entertaining this way. Whereas doing a recording, I probably think way too much, end up feeling bad because you miss some genuine reaction because, oh hey, I decided to stop for a bit and either do something else than what I said or focus way too much on something that I did record and end up having it be very boring. So, I guess in summary, I'm trying to have this be entertaining and trying really hard to be genuine. Because, honestly, I really don't like when somebody's trying to be something they're not, all for the sense of other people to be happy at the cost of their own happiness. Like, if you enjoy being somebody else in front of a camera for other people's enjoyment, and you enjoy it, then go right ahead. But if you hate being another person in front of other people, and the only reason you can't avoid that is because nobody seems to care about the person that you are and care more about the person you aren't. So you end up having this situation where your feelings aren't being taken accounted or aren't being accounted for. Well, other people say, yeah, no, I want people to be more themselves, except for these people, because my actions say that I actually hate them when they're being themselves. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up for a bit as the scene plays out. Hello, Breck.
Extremely volatile. Touch it and it could explode.
I am so happy you made it into the world. I mean, honestly, you're one of the few monsters from 3 that could make it into World. I mean, you have the Greats, who had a good likelihood, honestly. I mean, consider Great Jaggy, Great Roggy, and Great Baggy.
All that slime is primed to blow.
Decent.
Better do something quick before you get blown up.
Okay. I want to carve the Urigan, but I can't. And I mostly want to carve the Urigan because I don't want to lose a situation like what just happened, where you just carve rare materials. Fireproof Mantle on. Heal up. I brought Fireproof Mantle because that should make me resistant to Blast Blade. And honestly, Shield Spire will probably be better for this. At least that's how I feel about Wrath. Give him another target to fight and he seems decently easy to manage. Okay. All weak base. Go after the tail. Or not. Missed almost completely. And now I'm going to have to add wall to my list of things that seem to despise my ability to play. I mean, obviously, ledges are terrible. Since, out of everything, they can cause irritating problems. You try and heal, you end up going off the ledge. Get that little trip animation and end up in a bad way because, oh hey, you now just left yourself open because you healed and fell off a ledge. Or better yet, you run towards a ledge and you end up getting a bad chance. And, oh hey, the monster is now just taking advantage of it and you're stuck having to go up the ledge. You're incapable of dodging, and the monster has full advantage. Now, I understand why ledges are needed and why mounted combat is something that actually makes a bit of sense, but also not much at all. But personally, I could care less about having the ability to mount. And I feel like Rise came up with a way of fixing it. As well as allowing several weapons to easily get back in the fight after being knocked down or in a bad way. Or even it's a case of you're just starting to get up, so you've lost your iframes from getting up from an attack. So what exactly do you have that you can make the situation better? The ability to just get out of danger and very quickly be in a situation that allows you to heal. I mean, also there's the fact that Greatsword has a wire bug move that allows it to change its weapon, get a power up, and run away from the monster. I mean, I know it's not a guaranteed thing that you won't get hit. It's not like it gives you iframe. But personally, I see it as a great way of making Greatsword a lot more mobile. Yeah, there's the reason why I have the Fireproof Mantle. Slime Blade is irritating to manage. Mostly with how many rolls it takes. Okay, Vitality Mantle at the ready, because I do just need to have it active. I think I haven't fixed it so that then I have useful skills. Like right now I think I have it so that it stops bleed. Oh, get me out of that situation. Is going crazy, and I really wish that it didn't go crazy. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I made a poor judgment call. I'm an idiot. I'm definitely an idiot. To try and avoid wasting a potion, I end up wasting a potion. Okay, now if I can just break the head and the arm. I despise that attack. I can never tell how far he's going to go with that. Why did I blow up all of a sudden? Like, all I did was continue my attack and end up blowing up because reasons. Honestly, out of all the monsters, Bracket's one of my favorites. Obvious favorite is Legiator. At least to any who have seen the auto shout-out messages. Carve the tail, then chase after him. So, general question. How do you guys feel about Rise? And I mostly want to get other people's opinion because I've seen the bad takes of Monster Hunter stuff, and I haven't seen any real good opinions. Or at least not many good opinions on it. Like, personally, I see the game as really interesting. And especially with removing mounting mechanics in favor of giving every weapon insect blade power. Also, wyvern riding doesn't seem that bad. The real problem will come from the trolls. Anybody trolling would be way too powerful and end up causing way too much trouble. Since, you know, pull the monster that everybody's trying to fight away from one. End up causing grief for everyone because of how the monsters are far away, or you just straight up take out the other players because you brought a different monster into the area on the sole purpose of making it more difficult for the other players. Or fainting, well, hurting at least one of them. I can understand people doing something interesting, like, you know, two people are wyvern riding and they decide, let's just attack each other with monsters. Because those two people are both contributing by having the monsters attack each other in a controlled fashion, other than just bring a random monster into the fray and only really causing pain for the others. I was really hoping I would have gotten that to work. I just wasn't given the opportunity. Or if I was given the opportunity, it just didn't play out. Okay. I always forget that the Slinger Burst range is not that great. Turful. Could you please stop roaring? I'm happy that I have earplugs to deal with this. But at the same time, I'd rather not have to worry about not moving. Okay. Flashlight cage. Ration, because I think, yeah. Oh. Crack, you always move in a way that causes me to breathe. Well, into the hot area now. Fireproof mantle. My health should be fine, but I will use a potion just to get a bit closer to max health. Oh. Why are you focusing on the Rathalos instead of me? That is the one time I will have said that. Meaning as a, why aren't you attacking me rather than why aren't you? Oh, I didn't realize I was down to green sharpness. Okay, focus on the Rathalos then. Why are you focusing on me? Oh yeah, for protective polish, my sharpness doesn't increase for a while. Honestly, not that great with a great sword. Since you don't get to take full advantage. the intended use would probably be on steel blades or other quick to lose sharpness weapons. But I can see where it's applicable for all weapons. Like, gun lance would make perfect use of it since you need sharpness to also fire gun lance. So why not have protective polish to keep your sharpness? For other weapons like lance and greatsword, where you don't really lose sharpness all that fast. It's useful because if you don't have a lot of A level of sharpness, then it just basically gives you more of it. So take the amount of white level that the Jackra's weapon has. It's not overly much, but it's not too little. So having protective polish actually helps. And out of everything, I'm surprised that protective polish isn't a thing for labs armor. And I didn't realize that Brack was that
That
low.
takes care of our mission. Let's head back and report.
So, I completely derailed this conversation at some point. And so, sorry if you were hoping for more. Okay, I'll just shut up. I got a Brack Pallium out of a carve, and apparently that Brack was, somewhere in the range of 90% tail. This was an interesting Brack hunt. The drink I have off to the side isn't that great. I have it just in case my throat starts to get dry. And also, I just really enjoy, it's some pomegranate juice diluted with water. So, if there's not enough pomegranate juice, it doesn't taste right. But if there's not enough water, it's just full-on pomegranate juice, and that's
You've done well.
I enjoy pomegranate juice, but
We're the ones to get it done.
We're finally going head-to-head with Velkhana.
It's not really
But why
something
the
I
Elder's Recess?
enjoy drinking without the added bit of water or like at room temperature. So I have ice in the pomegranate juice, and that slowly dilutes it with water.
Forward to glory!
Okay, let's go with that. Generally, I use the bounties less for the research points and more for armor spheres. And I get that armor spheres are generally something that you get more of the harder the request is. But also, you can get equally as much or more if you just do a bunch of the easier requests. So it's one of those, is it really worth it to get a bunch now, or is it more worth it to get a small amount now, but it starts adding up? Just something to think about. So now for the thing that I've been debating since starting
That's
Iceborne.
alright, pickle.
Do I make the Brack weapon? Okay, so Brack armor, general look. And I wouldn't mind getting Agitator. And if I were to make a mix set, it would probably be something in the vein of that. Since that gives me Agitator Secret, it gives me a lot of Agitator, not all of it. But with Agitator Secret at the level it is, that would give me the 24 attack and 15 affinity. I would prefer the 20 affinity, but if I remember, I should have an addition. Tongue got a bit tight there. An Agitator gem. And the reason I'd go with the head and the legs for the extra artillery as well as the capacity boost, although I see the reason why a 2 to a 4 slot is pretty bad. I mean, although you can slot in a 2 slot gem in a 4 slot, you might as well take advantage of the maximum size. Something like the 3 going to a 4 and add an extra 1 is honestly better. But if I were to go with Gunlance or Charge Blade, capacity boost would help. Not saying that I would change them, it's just a thought. So it's one of those questions of what is worth it. Also, the other fact is my current armor still worth it? Because I have right now I have max crit eye, a 3 constitution, 3 speed sharpening, 4 earplugs, 2 crit boost, 2 focus, 2 quick sheath, an affinity slide, and a non-elemental boost. A lot of that is from, or aside from the crit eye, speed sharpening, and crit boost as well as focus, most of that is from gems. Oh yeah, and the quick sheath. So really, I just use gems to shore up anything so that it's better. And I do understand how affinity is helpful. I just don't know if this is like a worthwhile thing, because I could get the Agitator as well as close to max crit eye if I really want to go for that. So it's like I can get that set up. Let me double check artillery. So gunlance shells, wyvern fire, charge blade vial, and sticky ammo. But if I go with nothing but beta stuff, then I just have an extra artillery, an extra blast resistance, and well, really, it's just that. I just have 2 skills that don't really add. I could grab earplugs and free meal on either the chest piece or the waist of T-Grux stuff. Honestly, I'd probably go with the waist since, well, if I really wanted to, I could do this. Get 3 earplugs, a free meal. Okay, here's what it would look like. Agitator 6, earplugs 5. I'd have an extra 3 slot, and it would actually be, it would really it would actually be 4 earplugs. Or, no, it would be 3 earplugs, but I have 2 on my gem. Or 2 on my greatsword. I get the focus from my charm, a blast resistance, which really doesn't add much, an artillery, which also doesn't really add much, and a free meal, which I find really helpful, and I don't really care to go for free meal secret to get the 75% chance not to use items. At least food items. And having max earplugs can be helpful. But not going with that. I can instead try and go for something maybe a bit better. Technically, if I wanted to, I could go full part breaker and get guard up. So, honestly, there's a decent gun lance setup, minus the focus. Switch that out with something I would probably say, go like that. Get an offensive guard charm, and hopefully you have a bunch of talismans to add as well as ways of regenerating stamina. But honestly, out of all the armor to go with, Ergen arms and legs, because, well, then you get 4 guard and offensive guard, and depending on preference, you could either keep the 2 iron skin. I think it's worth it to have the 2 iron skin. If you didn't really care about Agitator Secret, you'd probably just end up going with the capacity boost off of the helm. For Brack stuff, let's see. Actually, I think my current armor setup is going to be okay for it, for now at least. I'm not really sure about what else I want to go for. Oh yeah, I should probably check weapons. See if it would be worth my time getting the Brack weapons. Let's use that to go off of. Yeah, Brack weapon, 1056, unknown because need some more materials for that. And if I'm correct, that's probably the Raging Brack weapon, maybe. But going 1056, adding an element, which means I can't use non-elemental boost. Probably not worth it. But then again, I'm not sure how well non-elemental boost will help, and I know about Elatrion's whole thing, so non-elemental boost won't really help when you have to do an elemental check. And since I'm only really focusing on the greatsword, I'm actually at a huge disadvantage. Oh yeah, that's the thing I can make. I can make Tigrex Jawblade. I don't actually mind that, since I'm not sure about the alternative. Besides, I actually really don't mind the Tigrex Jawblade. The only thing I do have issue with is the affinity. In a crit focus set, affinity means everything, and having negative affinity doesn't really help all that much. Some would even say it hinders. But to balance out its raw attack damage, it makes sense, except for the fact that you get the same exact damage with the Jagras weapon.
Belkana.
So really, it's just a case of why is T-Rex at all good? If there's a weapon that does its whole thing, but also does it better. You know what? Just going to go all in, and if this stream is never to be seen or heard of, then I will be sad. But if everything works out just fine, then everything works out just fine. Let's change out equipment so that then I have the ice-proof mantle, got my vitality. Ice is a negative, but not a huge negative. And yeah, that's what I thought. It's better gem slot wise as well as just raw damage. As well as affinity. So, Jagras Deathclaw. Once I unlock the Grinding Lands, it'll only get better. Because if I'm correct, if it's bits on sticks, then you can improve it even further.
That's alright, Pickle.
Oh yeah, there's the augment stuff. Which I have no real ability to do, and if I'm correct, means absolutely nothing for this because you have the Grinding Lands upgrade stuff. Well, onwards to fight an ice dragon.
Before I left, my grandfather gave me this shard. I think he brought it back from the New World. Yeah, I know. The rules say take nothing back. But still, he wanted me to... Partner, tell me, why do you think people leave their homes, and also their loved ones? Knowing that they may never make it back home. I wonder what my grandfather was thinking, bringing this thing back with him. He was a carefree man, but he took researching this very seriously. In the end, he never did find out what it was. Why did he bring it back with him? Why me? Maybe he was thinking, she'll get the job done. 40 years ago, their expedition failed, so they left it to the next generation, hoping we'll succeed. And now we're here because someone believed in us. So you know what? We won't fail. I know it. Let's get you ready, partner. There's still work to do.
Okay.
What
So,
could have brought
honest
Velkhana
question
to the Elder's
now.
Recess?
How many people thought the shard the handler had was for a different monster? Like, maybe, personally, for me, when I first saw that shard and before seeing Velkhana, I thought, that's a Glavenus thing, isn't it? Oh, I accidentally triggered the cutscene. Snow, that can only mean one of two things. The monster I'm searching for is here, or Kushula got an upgrade. Oh, hell, you.
Stand and fight. Claim your place in the
Hello,
new
you
world.
beautiful stained glass dragon. Okay. So, when first playing through Iceborne, out of the weapons I made, I swapped between lance, gun lance, and hammer. Mostly I played hammer and the tiniest bit of lance. And, I mean, there was a bit of long. Please stop stabbing me. I complimented your beauty by comparing you to stained glass. Oh. I seem to have trouble using the giant crystals. Come on, stand. Stop getting in the way. Finally, an advantageous position brought on by giant crystals, which have never caused anybody trouble ever in games. I'm talking mostly like Final Fantasy, where crystals are 95% of the time the cause of all problems.
Velkhana's still got some fight left in it.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it have a fight left in it? The fight only started just a bit ago. Oh, the freezing cold of death. Yarn. What about the free health? That was something. Health. Oh. I'm doing poorly with it. Figuring out what actions I should take. If I had the right stuff, the one skill I would want on Vitality Mantle probably be I now only realize I hadn't thought about that much. And I thought of it now because I have Vitality Mantle and the other mantle. mostly speedy thing, since it's a skill that helps in a lot of situations. Like, you need to quickly qualm the potion. So, speeding. And it keeps you from losing health. So it's a massive plus. Oh, I feel like I made a mistake, but also I don't feel that now. And I'm not really feeling too hindered by the lack of a level 3 quick sheet. Right now I just feel like level 2 it is only slightly more sluggish. There's where maybe having level 3 quick sheath might have changed things in my favor. I never like fainting during quests like this. You aren't even fighting the monster at its full power. So, you ended up just fainting to, like, a smaller version of the monster. Not physically, but combat-wise, it's not even doing its full shtick. Like, I mean, with Zeno, Arch-Tempered feels like more of a fight than the regular fight. And I guess that's because Arch-Tempered Zeno has more control. More health. But also, it is generally a much more interesting challenge. That was a good use of it. I really wish cutting off Velcon's tail did more. Oh, hey, there's the check. Time for the reoccurring theme of Iceborne. You think you won, but really you didn't. The Lich King has risen.
Hard! We gotta get out of here!
Why are you here? The cause for most of my problems. This is why you stay at the camp.
Partner! Partner! I'm sorry. Please get up.
Fissure runs through here. You're always one step ahead. Then and now. At least you left me some homework. What is...
I don't deserve that fanfare. Yay, a friendship jewel for all the friends that I have. All one of them. Okay.
Now that everyone... First, it's thanks to you that we were able to repel Velkhana. We wouldn't have stood a chance on our own. Now then, speaking of Velkhana, there's still the question of where it's retreated to. Elaborate, if you will.
Gladly, sir. After its, if I may say so, harrowing battle with the A-listers, Velkhana suddenly transformed its carapace.
Handler? I don't hate you because of just everybody hating you, and I don't hate you because you're, in particular, a bad character. I'm more so aggravated that you constantly seem to be the cause of a lot of my problems. Mostly, in the cutscenes where you leave the camp, I seem to get really hurt. And you end up having no self-preservation to run away from the giant deadly monster. Considering you don't have a weapon, I have a weapon, I am the one to do stuff.
And flew in retreat toward the hinterlands. We still have no idea why it transformed, let alone what reason it had for going to the
Sorry,
Elder's
wanted to
recess
get that
in the
off my
first place.
chest. And honestly, out of everything,
And this is just my personal theory, but I think that Velkhana didn't exactly retreat.
the Handler is a character that I more so despise solely because they add the tiniest bit to the story, and once the story demands more of them, they don't really measure up to what they're being asked to do.
I think it simply left the Elder's recess after finishing whatever it had gone there to do.
What reason could an Elder Dragon from an Arctic environment have for traveling to the Everstream and the Elder's recess?
Freezing a giant corpse, freezing a giant baby, freezing the heat death of the universe. One of those answer. This is probably right. Considering Elder's Recess is connected to the Everstream, and the Everstream is where we fought Zeno. And if Velkhana was there to stop something from getting away, and we just stopped it, that would explain maybe something.
I believe it might have something to do with the startling metamorphosis of its outer shell.
Or it just really didn't want to lose, so it put on armor. That could be a thing.
Whatever the case,
One last thing, sir. This newly transformed Velkhana seems to be building unbelievable strength. If we don't do something, Celiana could be in danger.
then there's no time to waste. Field team, return to the hinterlands and locate Velkhana. Provisions, tech. We need to fortify our defenses. We'll provide weapon support from here in Astera. Be swift, but remember, each careful step or each hasty mistake may be the difference between success and failure. That is all. Dismissed.
We have to find Velkana. Let's take an expedition out into the Hoarfrost Reach. The chief said he was worried about something. I wonder what.
Now we just have a screaming parrot to deal with. But honestly, I'm probably going to stop there for story progression this stream, since
You're just the awesomest.
I genuinely don't want to do all that much if I can fix whatever problem was happening. And if this stream works, then I will be happy, and I then won't have to worry about doing longer story-based progression.
Cheers!
And annoyingly, in a fight where a bunch of materials fall off the monster, we learn nothing of the monster. Or at least, we learn nothing of its equipment. We don't even get any of the items, besides a couple of bones, a faith stone, and some ore. So, with that, I'm going to end the stream now, which, honestly, it's only a little bit more than half of the time I would spend on a stream. But I just want to make sure that I could go through roughly 2 hours without any major problems popping up. So, thank you for watching, and if you're watching this on YouTube, definitely check me out live on twitch.tv/morningdayu. And I hope you enjoy watching anything else in the StreamVod playlists. With that out of the way, for those of you currently watching the stream, I am in the process of figuring out a schedule, since I'm still relatively new to streaming. I'm just trying to figure out what time is best for both me and people watching. So I just want to find like the perfect middle ground. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you continue to enjoy, as well as I hope the rest of your day is absolutely perfect. Once again, thank you for watching. Goodbye.